The tax draw for marijuana purchases in California is not going as expected. Last week, California's Department of Tax and Fee Administration revealed that tax revenues tied to the legal sale of marijuana within the state missed initial estimates by about 50%. Hopes were that the Golden State would have seen a windfall of nearly $650 million in tax revenue, but due to what some consider to be too heavy excise taxes, California only brought in $345 million in its first full year of legal weed sales. Earlier this year, regulators announced plans to reduce excise taxes from 15% to 11% to dissuade black market purchases, but it does raise new questions, guys, about the upside of legalization of marijuana, because tax revenues were supposed to be kind of the knight in shining armor on the issue.
Right, but I think we also have to remember that this is going from zero tax revenue from this business to 300 and was it right around 350 million. So it was a big miss, but I certainly think that it is a lot better than nothing out there. But it is interesting when you take a look at the taxes that are within the state of California when it comes to marijuana purchases. So that excise tax right now is 15%. If they do in fact lower it to 11%, which I guess they are considering, that could be a huge boost here to revenue going forward, just because then it might provoke more people to start buying marijuana legally. But then also you have the local average tax, or local taxes on average are around 8%. The whole tax is $9.25 for every ounce of cannabis flower. So all these taxes continue to add up, and once it's all said and done, it can add up to as much as 45% tax on the consumer. So that obviously will weigh on the entire tax revenue here.
Well, it's so murky still. There's, I know, of legal on the state basis, not so on the federal. And I think it is an interesting thing too, because you see a lot of retail companies just throughout the country are paying close attention to this, and sort of, they're looking for growth anywhere they can, and they're ready to pounce. So I think a lot of this stuff that's happening now is we're figuring out how all of this works. I think once somehow, if it does become legally overall, there's a lot of companies ready to kind of engage here.
And if it was legal at a federal level, then a lot of the question marks, I think, around the states and what taxes should be might go out the door as well, because then it would be universal.
Yeah.
Right. And at least.
And it's also important to point out that this is the first year that they have been tracking too. So it will be likely that we will see some sort of changes over the next couple of years to their tax structure. So
yeah,
bring in more
always
revenue here going forward.